Hey guys, what's up? It's the Merc here for Poolshed Games, and it is the mid-season finale of the Quest for Gaming at College. Yes, we've reached that time again where the semester has come to an end, or is coming to an end, and there will be 6 weeks, really 7 weeks, where there will be no gaming at college. This in and of itself isn't a bad thing, because that 6-week break is nice. Gets me away from here, gets me home. I get to hang out with my gaming group down there. Lich Lord and I get to try to make some videos while we're both off of school. So it's a little bit more relaxed time, a little bit less to worry about. So it's a good time. Let's talk about wrapping up this semester of the Quest for Gaming at College. Things I want to talk about. Things that went wrong. And boy did things go wrong. Trying to play D&D, we tried to play Dystopia Rising, and we tried to play Pathfinder. There were 3 games that we tried to play. None of them really got anywhere. We started D&D at the beginning of the semester. Started off well. Things were going fine. The DM had the cool idea of everybody each having their own individual storyline. And over the 15 weeks of the semester, we were going to explore our storylines and build the story for our characters. Would have been great. However, the DM ended up having just a lot of work that he had to deal with this semester, and he just didn't have the time to run the game. And I missed a couple sessions because I had work I had to deal with too. It's just this semester was very heavy work-wise. The same thing can be said for Dystopia Rising. We made characters for that. We started the adventure. We went 2 weeks without being able to play because everybody had projects and papers to work on. And finally, when we managed to get to play again, we got about 2 sessions in, and we all just felt so disconnected from the game because we hadn't played it in like 2 weeks that the motivation was there to just not keep going. There wasn't a motivation to keep the game going. Also, a little bit of the downfall to Dystopia Rising was the fact that I hadn't had a chance to really read through the rules 100%, and while I had an understanding of how to make the characters and how to run the game, I didn't have an understanding deeply enough of how to run combat. And also, with time restrictions and the papers and things I had to do this semester, I didn't have the time to devote to creating a campaign and a campaign world that I really wanted to give my players. I wasn't happy with the experience I could provide, and they didn't feel connected to the game, so therefore we let it go. Finally, we moved on to Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is a D20 system, and I find that the D20 system is great because I can make it work. I can always make it work. I can make up monsters on the spot and have them fit in because I understand how the D20 system works. Because it's a system I started playing with, system I've played the most of. So we started Pathfinder. Everything was going great. But again, work got in the way. And it slowed us down. It prevented us from getting together a couple times. Then Thanksgiving break happened. And we just kind of fell out of it. So we didn't really get the chance to finish that. We're going to try to finish it tonight. But I know we all have papers to work on because it's the end of the semester. So it may or may not happen. I was talking to a couple of my players last night, and they're hoping next semester they want to just restart the campaign. Want to use the same campaign world, maybe the same characters, the same story idea, and just restart from the beginning. To hopefully get a more concrete and concise story that, starts and just keeps going. It doesn't stop and start. Funnily enough, there was another game that had been talked about being played, which was Rifts by Palladium Press, and I'd been interested in that because I've never played Rifts, but I've been interested in playing Rifts, and the same thing happened there. The guy who wanted to run it ended up that he couldn't get people together, schedules wouldn't match up, so therefore that never got off the ground. So what have I learned from gaming in college this semester? I've learned that keeping a game running in college is sometimes even harder than keeping a game running out in everyday life, because in everyday life, like if you have, everybody has work or people with families, whatever you got going on there, at the end of the day, you can always kind of make plans because your work schedule is pretty much set in stone. Unless, you have a job where your hours change week to week. But those aren't overly common. I mean, they are, but you can work around that. Because normally after work, you don't have homework and papers and tests to study for and all that fun stuff. Whereas at college, when you're trying to run a game, people have papers they have to write, you have tests you need to study for, you have projects you have to work on. So therefore, it makes it difficult to keep a game running. And it was definitely what I found this semester, was just how hard it was to keep a game on track and running. So we're going to try next semester, hopefully, to avoid that problem. Which, I mean, I have one less class next semester than I did this semester, so hopefully I'll have less papers to write. I'm going to try to read books that I need to read for next semester over break, so I don't have to worry about it during the semester. I have a lot of lofty plans. Don't know how many of them are actually going to come to fruition. It's usually the way it is with plans, especially over break. Because over break, I also want to play a lot of tabletop games. I want to get some games of Firestorm Armada in. I want to play some Dystopian Wars, Infinity, just a whole slew of games. So all these lofty goals that I have for next semester may or may not happen. But I'm also going to work on fully fleshing out the campaign world for the Pathfinder game so that we come back to that next semester. It'll be ready to go and ready to play. That's pretty much it. I don't know what D&D is going to be next semester. One of our players has expressed a desire to try DMing for the first time, so we might let him try that, or we might try to go back to the game we had planned on playing this semester and pick it up next semester. Though I kind of hope we don't do that because at this point I don't feel connected at all to the character I had from the semester before this one that I had been playing this semester. So that's a thing. And as for the Rifts game, I don't know if that'll get off the ground next semester or not. I know for a lot of the guys that we're going to play in that game, it is their last semester of their senior year, so they might have work to do, they might have things more important. Just like our DM for our D&D game, it is his last semester of his senior year, so that might be why we let somebody else take over DMing, so he doesn't have to worry about it, because he has everything else on his plate with graduating. And funnily enough, as weird as it is to think about, next year will be my senior year, so I don't know what gaming will be like next year. It all depends on how crazy that is, but that's a year away. So that's it for this part of this season of the Quest for Gaming at College. As I said, we didn't get as much gaming done as we have the previous couple of years, just because this semester seemed like it hit everybody kind of like a ton of bricks. I don't know if it was just we weren't prepared for the workloads, or the workloads were just significantly more than we thought they were going to be. But anyway, that is it for this part, the fall season of Quest for Gaming at College. We'll come back in the spring, which will be like, I think, late January. I'll start the season back up again because I'll be back on campus. Hopefully we'll be playing D&D and Pathfinder, or at least some kind of gaming. So hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully you have enjoyed the series, even though there hasn't been a lot of gaming that's gone on that I could talk about. And we'll see you next time here at Bullshit Games.